Hey everybody, we'll start off this week's bulk market update with the load board postings again. Just a slight decrease from last week, 2%. Not a big deal. Like I said, after harvest and all that stuff moving, I'd say that we're going to see this slight decline until fertilizer starts moving in the spring. We may see some road salt and other commodities like that move a little bit, which will bring us into the spot rates for grain up a little bit. I have seen quite a bit more grain moving around on the load board. I don't know if this is just everybody getting their futures fulfilled and getting everything moved around for the first of the year. Fertilizer saw an 8% increase from last week. Pretty big jump there. I've seen quite a bit of this, especially in the northern states. I'd say there's getting their stockpiles before the spring comes, and some guys putting on some last minute fall fertilizer as well. Feed ingredients saw a 9% decrease. That's just in the rate. I've seen quite a few more feed ingredient loads on the load board. Chickens, turkeys, lots of meal, wheat midds, byproducts moving around of the harvest from this fall. So I'd say a lot of that grain's getting processed. That's probably why there's a little bit more grain moving around, going to those processing facilities, feed mills, pellet mills, stuff like that. I wanted to bring up our diesel prices. This is such a huge part of the trucking industry and what rates are based off of, what truckers need to run for to make money because of how much fluctuation there is in the price of diesel and stuff. And there hasn't been a whole lot of change in the diesel prices this last half of the year even. Especially compared to last year, it dropped off quite a bit. We're not seeing a huge decrease, but it is staying consistently lower than it was last year. I've heard and read a lot on LinkedIn, on my news feeds and everything about Trump's tariffs causing a huge disparity in our commodities we get from Canada. This graph on the left here shows that Canada is our largest supplier of oil that is not produced domestically, which is a huge thing with Trump's 25% tariff on commodities from Canada and Mexico. There's a chance that that'll greatly impact the fuel cost, but I put in another graph here because this interested me a little bit. You know, what would we get out of putting a tariff on Canada and Mexico that we are looking to get out of this? Because I don't think that Trump would just put a tariff on them just to make us pay more. That doesn't seem like that would be a smart business decision. On this graph here, you can see that the United States produces just as much as we consume. So we don't need Canadian oil. If they can get it to us at a good price, it is worth us taking their oil. I'd say that that's part of Trump's plan is to make sure we are competitive with the price that we're paying at the pump. I think these tariffs may not be immediate, but I think that Canada will come to the table, especially as you can see on the right here, the major Canadian industries, gas and oil extraction is a huge part of their GDP. The United States consumes 97% of Canada's oil and natural gas. So us not coming to the table and working with them on a price would be hugely detrimental to their economy and the Canadian populace. Trudeau has met with Trump recently. I think that there will be a positive impact with these tariffs, getting us a competitive price in the marketplace because we are the major consumer. 77% of Canada's GDP from exports comes from the United States. That is a massive part of their economy, and not working with us would be a huge detriment to country in general. I know they export a lot to China as well. From everything I've seen, China is trying to become more food secure with tariffs from us, plus wanting to be moved more food secure. The Chinese market, which is a huge part of the U.S. Commodity trade, is tightening up a little bit on their pricing and the supply that they're needing as well. Another big thing that I've seen on the load board, gypsum, fly ash. I've seen a lot of this moving around. You know, concrete production. So new houses, new businesses, roads, anything that needs concrete is a pretty good indicator of the economy in general. And that's a lot of what moves around on our load board. As you can see at this bottom graph, we've leveled off and actually decreased a little bit from last year on concrete shipments. We had a low point in 2009 after the recession of new building, new homes, new construction. So it's not real nice to see that with Trump's new tariffs and economic strategy. Maybe home prices will start going back up. Maybe more homes will start being built. We'll have some more. That helps a lot with the flatbed work. I know you guys don't do a lot of that, but a lot of you have those trailers as well. Lumber, building equipment, that'll help a lot with number of loads on the board, demand for truckers. And on the left side, you can see the new residential construction. The permits and the starts have drastically dropped off since 2023. A lot of completed homes, but that doesn't really help you guys that are hauling the products to make those homes. So hopefully here in the first part of the year, we can see those number of permits to build new homes and number of homes actually started increasing. I know in our area around Springfield, there's actually a lot of homes being built. In the process of buying a new home myself, the market is very competitive. Nothing's on the market very long. So I'd say that there'll be some more homes being built here soon, especially in our region, going forward into the next year. So since we're towards the end of the year, I'd like to add this stuff in here. I know that a huge part of farming is your taxes at the end of the year. It can make or break if you have the right deductions, if you're paying in, or if you calculated it out correctly. On the left side here, I did state corporate taxes by state. I have a lot of guys call in and a lot of load board guys talk to new companies or drivers that are looking to get out on their own. And when you're wanting to get out on your own there, a lot of guys ask what state and what regions really work. For our load board, the Midwest is going to be the place to be just because the sheer number of crops, commodities, animals, livestock, all of it, that's going to be the bread and butter. But if you're going to move to a different state, the amount you would pay in taxes is going to be a huge factor that I would consider as well. So you can see these red states here have the higher state corporate tax. So if you're choosing between Missouri and Kansas, Missouri and Iowa, Iowa and Illinois, the states where there's going to be a lot of loads, you're going to pay more taxes. Personally, I think that the government misuses a lot of our taxes. So the least amount I can pay, the better. That being said, I put some resources over here about deductions you can have. The IRS Small Business Tax Guide. I looked into it. The reason I put a link to it is because honestly, it's terribly difficult to read. Talk to your CPA or your accountant right now. If you can buy something that counts as a deduction that will help you in the future, help you run your business more efficiently, or even at the very least give you more time with your families, make processes easier, even if you don't see a return on it. I'd rather pay something that makes my life easier than pay the government. Dave Ramsey said it recently. I make money in spite of the government, not because of the government. So I would rather spend that money on something that helps myself other than giving it to people who are going to spread it out to, honestly, places that I don't care that it goes. We'll keep going here with loads by origin. Saw a pretty big decrease in the West and East. My guess is the ports were a little slow over the Thanksgiving weekend there towards the end of last week and over the weekend. I know I see average rates on loads that are factored. They went up quite a bit. Guys having to pay to get stuff moved in a timely manner with everyone wanting to be home for the holidays. So if you got those better rates, congratulations. If you stayed at home with your family, congratulations as well. Did see a little bit of a jump in the central United States, and the South stayed pretty consistent. I'd say like we talked about earlier in this podcast, more of those grains are being moved to those processing facilities, being made into feed or other products for livestock or other byproducts. We'll end off this week. Hopefully you got something out of this. And if there's anything you'd like to see or ideas for this podcast or any other podcast in our Bulk Loads Network, please let us know.